The purpose of this video is to show you how to work with the distance formula. I'll begin the session by showing you how to derive the distance formula. Let's say we have 2 points on the graph, just 2 arbitrary points. So we'll choose these 2 points and we want to find the distance of this line, let's say d. Well, what do we know? We know that we have one point, we can call it x1, and we have another point we can call x2. We have this point, which is y1, and this point, which is y2. What may not be so obvious at first is the fact that there's actually a triangle here. So, using this triangle, what we can do is figure out, so the distance between these 2 points here is the absolute value of x2 minus x1. And for these points here, the distance between the two y values is the absolute value of y2 minus y1. So because we have a right triangle, what we can do is use the Pythagorean Theorem. We can call the horizontal line A, the vertical line B, and the hypotenuse C. So A is equal to x squared minus x1, B is equal to y2 minus y1, and C is equal to D. So subbing in the values for A, B, and C from what we derived from the above slide, we get d squared equals x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So one thing to note is that the absolute value of x is really equal to the square root of x squared. So what we can do is we can rewrite the absolute value of x2 minus x1 as the square root of x2 minus x1 squared. We have to remember to keep our square on the top here. So there's 2 of them now. And the same for y2 minus y1. And write this. So the square of a square root cancels out, so then we're left with, so to be clear, this cancels with this cancels with this, and we're left with x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared, and solving for d by taking the square root of both sides, we get the distance formula, which is x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So now that we have derived the distance formula, we'll be able to find the distance between 2 points. So let's say the 2 points we're looking at, -1, -5, and -1, 2. Well, we know that -1, -5 is x1, y1, and -1, 2 is x2, y2. So, using the distance formula, we can compute the value. So, -1 minus -1, you got to be careful there, and y2 minus y1. So again, you got to be careful to write the brackets. This gives 0 squared plus 7 squared, which is equal to square root of 7 squared, which is equal to the square root of 49, which is equal to 7. And that's it. The distance between these 2 points is 7 units. So we can use the formula again for another set of points. So let's say our points are 4, 6, and 5, 9. Well, we know that 4, 6 is equal to x1, y1, and we know that 5, 9 is equal to x2, y2. So the distance formula between these 2 points is x2, which is 5, minus x1, which is 4 squared, plus y2, which is 9, minus y1, which is 6 squared, all that under the square root. And then 5 minus 4 is 1, and leave the square there. 9 minus 6 is 3, leave the square there. And if they're negatives, it's important to leave the brackets. Okay, so then we have the square root of 1 plus 9, which is the square root of 10. And there you have it. The distance between these 2 points is the square root of 10. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please like it and subscribe for more content.